Okay, so what's next? This is supposed to be green obsidian. I don't even know if that's real or not, but it's clear and it's blingy, and we're going to make another gem out of this. It seems to have the colour all the way through because I've just had a quick pre-form there, so I think it will make a nice gem, whatever it is. Supposedly green obsidian, but we'll find out. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is pre-form it, just sort of shape it up first of all and size it, find the centre point, and we'll take it from there. Right, let's start this adventure. What I'm going to do after this is do a sort of long-term test of the Stirling machine, so that will come next. And for those of you who are interested, I'll preview the machine, do like a long-term road test in fact, and show you all the gems I have cut so far. I think I got this in May, June, July, August, September, October, November, so I've had it for 6 months. And I've been teaching myself, and I'm pleased with the results. The wife is pleased with the results. She's got a chest full of gems. Hurrah! There we go, 24. So I'm just going to square off both sides a minute so we can get a proper centre point. It's going to get noisy. Should have wound it down first, shouldn't I? The reality of using this type of machine, which I absolutely love. I've got on very well with it. Stop splashback. So you don't want to hear all the nasty noises. I'll do both sides and I'll come back to you. So what I'm doing here is just lowering the plinth and getting a squared off area just here, and I'll do the same on the other side, and I'll keep that once I've got to a happy level just here. I'll keep the same level and lower the other side, therefore we'll then have a proper shape and a proper centre point that we can work to. How do I know I'm at the centre point? The table is fixed now. If I offer up the stone, it's just biting at that point. Now if it's just biting on the other side, now from that I can gauge the centre point, so let's do that. I can see it's not quite square there, so I'm just going to offer it up again a little bit. $19.5, I'm reading that wrong. It's just under 15. So if I can square it off properly and get to 14, I can easily then gauge the centre point. So we're just laying in the first two facets to, hopefully you can see that, to start this point here. This should then give us the centre point. So all the way there and all the way there. And when they meet, theoretically that's the centre point. Okay, we've reached the point now. Flip over to the other side. So we've got the first set of facets in, and now we're going to do the girdle, starting from about that point there, the widest point, and then we'll cut the girdle all the way around. That should then give us our shape. Okay, sometimes when faceting, a fair few times, things go wrong. And what went wrong this time was, I thought the stone was docked pretty well, but it wasn't, and it flew off. Once it's flown off, it is very, very difficult to get all your facets to join properly and to be at the right angle and everything else. So this has turned from a nice stone into a rescue mission. So I've done the best with faceting what I can on the pavilion, and it's not perfect, but that is the mirror that shines the light up through the crown. So all the angles are there, but it's just not perfect. But there's no point in throwing away this stone. Let's see what we can do with it, because errors like this will happen, stones will fly off, it's just going to happen. So let's not waste the rough, let's see what we can make of it. I've had to change some of the facets to join up. Right, so you know, that's over. The pavilion's done to the best it can be done, so let's just concentrate on the crown. I've used epoxy this time because I don't want the crown to fly off as well, as I really am going to throw it out in the field. But yeah, let's just get going. So it's a cold November morning, it's grey, it's England, so what do you expect? Ooh, power on, that would help, wouldn't it? Water on. The first facet, facet A on the crown, is at 49.11, which I've put on the protractor there, and it's at 38 on the index wheel. Water's running, power's on, revs up, let's go. So the whole idea is to put this first facet down to the girdle point that you want to get to, and then cut round. So I've cut the first facet in, and I'm just putting the second facet in, and there's a line there that I'm chasing, and I'll carry on cutting until it reaches that girdle point. Then I know we're there. And of course, if the pavilion was accurate, it means it will all line up accurately, but since this is a fail that we're trying to rescue, we might have to doctor it. Almost there. So I don't know how much you can see, but we've chased that second facet down, cut it and cut it and cut it till it's now reached that girdle point. So we're now ready for the next facet along, which is cut at 47.11, 47.11, and at 30 degrees. So we set 30 there, and we're ready to go. So because the stone fell off the dock, it is all out of tilter. You can see that this side the pavilion's decently straight, not the pavilion, the girdle, and here on this side it tends to disappear. So what we can do is try and cut in a little bit on the girdle to see if we can reshape it. So that's what we'll do. None of this would have been necessary if the dot had stuck, but it's going to happen every now and again. It just does. The trick is rescuing what you've done. Okay, so I've managed to rescue the stone by widening the girdle on this side, and if you look at it from the top, it's still a true shape. So even though this is a fail, it might be worth carrying on with, in which case, well, actually it is worth carrying on with, so we will.